Hello and welcome everyone by this ITQ live reports in KubeCon in Paris. I am joined today by Jared Watts, founding engineer at Crossplane. I'm very excited that you're joining us. Crossplane is personally my favorite CNCF project, so thank you very much for being here, Jared.
Yeah, and it's awesome to be able to talk more with you after I saw your very cool Crossplane talk earlier this week as well, man. So happy to continue the conversation.
Okay, I might ask you something about that now in a little bit, but can you tell us a bit, like just in general, what is Crossplane? What should our viewers be more interested in it?
Yeah, absolutely. So Crossplane, as an open source project for the CNCF, we have been working on it for about 5 years now, so we've got a chance to mature it significantly. And the way to think about Crossplane is that it is your control plane for everything, right? So Kubernetes is really good at being a control plane for containers, and Crossplane teaches Kubernetes how to manage basically everything else. And then like one more part about that is you can take all the resources that you're managing, you know, your AWS resources, GCP, on-premises, whatever, and then compose those into higher level abstractions that then kind of powers like your internal developer platform and helps them self-service get the infrastructure that they need.
So it's a solution to build control planes.
Exactly.
Let's not be mixed with Control Plane, the security company. Do you get this a lot?
No,
your control.
It hasn't happened yet to us, but I can imagine it happening soon.
Okay. And let's see, I would like to ask you about, my favorite feature in Crossplane, which is Crossplane compositions, right? So this allows you to build abstractions that you want with resources that are running anywhere, right? So can you tell us a little bit about how companies are leveraging Crossplane compositions?
Yeah, absolutely. So that's one of the core features of Crossplane. Besides just being able to manage resources, these compositions are really, really important. So most often this happens, like the core use case is that you've got a centralized platform team, and then they have enough developer teams around them that they need to accelerate the ability for their developers to get infrastructure they need and get to production as soon as they can. So how can you do that? Well, you don't want to give developers direct access to the cloud and have them be able to provision the granular resources themselves. So instead, using Crossplane, the platform developer can assemble together like a golden path of this is what infrastructure is at our company. This is like all the the configuration, the policy, all that sort of stuff. And then offer that as an abstraction to the developers, so developers can get what they need, but on a safe path.
So they're like easily building their own CRDs, let's say, by bundling resource in a logical way that will make sense in their platform.
Yep, exactly. And then they're injecting in the configuration they need and like all the things that are specific to their organization, and then doing that. And Crossplane helps you do that in a very streamlined way.
Yeah, and now your abstraction is a Kubernetes resource, so you can integrate it with the rest of the environment, right? Monitoring, you can do the RBAC in there, right? So it's a very interesting feature, in my opinion.
Yeah, exactly. And that's a key point too, is right? Kubernetes has an API-first design, and then Crossplane kind of extends that as well, right? Of like turn all these resources into APIs that then you can integrate with other systems and call from other places. So that helps a lot.
Nice. And there's something that came out, I think, still kind of recently, composition functions. I think some people are starting to, they're wondering a little bit, okay, so now there's code as well in Crossplane, right? They thought it was all like YAML, patching, templating, but can you explain a bit why you decided to build the composition functions and how they can benefit you?
Yeah, so we got a lot of feedback that composition in general in Crossplane, while it's powerful, it has some definite limitations. Like, in a declarative sense, there's only so many things you can specify. So in order to do more complicated logic, like for loops and conditional statements and stuff like that, you could keep, kind of patching that on to composition and kind of grow this organic, like bolted on sort of DSL that isn't really well designed. Or you can give people the ability to, when they need to, write the code that they need that's unique for their platform. And just focus on that and have Crossplane kind of do, all the other stuff that it's been doing and is really good at. Just write code when you need to for your specific scenario of this platform that you're building.
I also saw your presentation in Rejects with Stefano Borrelli about functions, and I found it very interesting. And I would also like to ask you, because Crossplane is really regarded as this solution that you use in combination with your public cloud provider, but we can also do on-prem, right? And that's a bit what my presentation was also about. How much are you getting? Are you seeing many people using Crossplane on-prem? Are you seeing this getting picked up? Maybe this provider Kubernetes or providers from for example, the VRA, vSphere, etc.
Yeah, and I really like that you brought that up, Carlos, because like, to give you a lot of kudos here, man. Like, your presentation on that was really kind of shining a light and showing people how they can do more on-premises stuff with Crossplane, because we definitely get people in the community asking about that, but there hasn't been a lot of development and engineering investments into supporting that. So it's always been a bit of a feature that doesn't have as much support as all the cloud providers do, right? So you were showing people a path that they can do right now, a way they can be successful with it, and kind of generating more interest of like other ways to do that, and like more providers and more things on, there's things like Ansible or like vSphere. There's like support for that kind of stuff. But it's not as comprehensive as the clouds. So then when you can throw in the other providers like Kubernetes and Helm and the Vault one and stuff that you're using too, it shows a more comprehensive picture and gives people more of a blueprint. So thank you for doing that. It was super helpful, dude.
You're going to make me overread, Jared. So, well, I would like to thank you very much for this conversation. And thank you everyone, to all our viewers. Please check out Crossplane. It's an amazing project. They have a booth in here. Go talk to them. Go talk to Jared. He's a very easy person to approach. So, thank you everyone.